Welcome to Week 4 of our BIM Heroes CPD learning program on business development for AEC. We'll be reviewing articles provided by leaders in our community.
That's right.
This week, we're taking a deep dive into sales fundamentals within the AEC sector. It's striking, isn't it, that in such a technically driven field, your expertise alone isn't always the key to unlocking growth.
Oh, absolutely. It's something people maybe underestimate. You can have the most innovative solutions, the best tech, cutting-edge knowledge, but without the ability to effectively, communicate that value and cultivate client relationships, it's just an uphill battle to truly thrive. Think of it like having a brilliant invention locked away in a lab. The world needs to know about it, understand its benefits.
That's a great analogy. And in AEC, the stakes are often so high. We're talking long-term projects, significant investments.
Huge investments.
So mastering these sales fundamentals isn't just about, getting a deal signed. It's really about building trust, becoming a reliable partner for your clients through that whole complex journey.
Exactly. It moves way beyond just transactional selling. In AEC, it's much more about understanding the client's long-term vision, their specific challenges.
Really getting inside their head a bit.
Yeah, and positioning yourself not just as like a service provider, but as a strategic asset, someone they rely on.
And the AEC landscape is constantly shifting too. Clients are more informed, competition is fierce. You really need to be able to articulate what makes your firm different.
You do.
Why should a client choose you? And that's where these core sales skills become, indispensable.
Precisely. And this week's material, it promises to equip you with the essential frameworks and techniques to navigate this evolving landscape with confidence and a clear strategic intent.
It does indeed.
Yeah.
We're going to be exploring the intricacies of the AEC sales cycle, uncovering effective tactics for building that lasting client trust.
Which is crucial.
Looking at the power of personal selling and networking and getting to grips with those crucial negotiation strategies. We'll also delve into how to measure your sales success in this, let's face it, unique industry. And finally, how to truly transform the customer experience, right from the initial design all the way through to project delivery.
Wow, that's a really comprehensive and vital set of topics. I mean, for anyone looking to not just participate, but really lead in the AEC industry, understanding these fundamentals is just non-negotiable.
Couldn't agree more. Let's get started then. Our first piece is Introduction to Week 4, Russ Monrose. And right off the bat, Russ emphasizes that, technical expertise is your foundation in AEC.
It has to be.
A solid grasp of sales fundamentals is now equally critical for success. It's kind of the bridge between your capabilities and the opportunities out there.
Yeah, and what's particularly insightful in Russ's introduction is how he highlights the distinct nature of AEC sales. It's definitely not the quick transaction you might see in other sectors.
That way.
He underscores the complexity involved, the significant financial and reputational stakes for clients, those often extended sales cycles.
I can drag on.
And that foundational element of trust that you just have to cultivate. It underpins everything.
He makes a strong point that in AEC, sales isn't simply about closing a deal and moving on. It's about something much more profound, isn't it?
Absolutely. As Russ puts it, it's about effectively communicating the specific value you bring to the table and forging genuine collaborative partnerships with your clients. It's really about mutual success, not just a signed contract.
And he touches on a really important shift. Relying solely on past reputation just isn't enough anymore. You need to be proactive.
That's right. You need to actively demonstrate how your expertise and solutions directly address the client's unique challenges and help them achieve their objectives. Show, don't just tell.
So according to Russ, this week's focus is all about empowering you with the practical tools and strategic approaches to tackle sales in AEC with, assurance and a clear plan.
Which leads us perfectly into our second article, also from Russ Monrose, Understanding the AEC Sales Cycle, from Leads to Conversions in 6 Stages. Here, he provides a really valuable structured framework for what can often feel like a less defined process.
6 stages. Okay, let's dive in. The first is prospecting objectives. So this is all about identifying those potential clients who align with your expertise
Or right fit.
and could truly benefit from what you offer. What stood out to you in this stage?
Well, Russ really emphasizes the importance of developing your differentiators early on, like right at the start. What makes your firm uniquely qualified?
What's your edge?
Exactly. He gives that concrete example of BIM enablement software that not only integrates with existing workflows, but also delivers measurable results, like a 35% error reduction
That's significant.
and a 20% acceleration of timelines, all backed by specialist AEC support. And he points out that this clear, quantified difference, it becomes the benchmark. It's what clients will evaluate others against.
That's powerful. Being able to articulate that specific value right from the start really sets you apart.
Right.
Okay, stage 2 is approach contact sponsor, making that initial connection and starting to build a relationship.
Right. And here, Russ highlights the crucial step of identifying all the decision-making stakeholders, because it's rarely just one point of contact in AEC, is it?
Almost never.
So asking who else will be involved and then tailoring your initial information to address each stakeholder's specific perspective, whether it's technical, financial, operational, that's key. He wisely cautions against, overwhelming them with lengthy, detailed presentations at this early stage.
Yeah, don't fire hose them.
Exactly. It's about opening the door, building that initial rapport.
Makes perfect sense. You want to engage them, not inundate them. Okay, stage 3, needs assessment qualification evaluate, really understanding what the client requires and, crucially, determining if it's a good fit for both parties.
Yes, and this is where a robust plan, as Russ points out, with clearly defined date control actions for both your team and the client is essential.
Keeps everyone on track.
It does. It helps prevent that dreaded scope creep and keeps the evaluation process focused. Now, flexibility is important, of course, but maintaining clarity for the client throughout this stage really builds confidence.
Absolutely. A structured approach shows professionalism and builds that trust early on. Stage 4, then, is presentation proof, showcasing your tailored solution and demonstrating its value in action.
And Russ's describe, express, and specify approach is a great framework here. You describe what your solution is, express the tangible benefits it offers, and then specify exactly how it addresses the client's identified needs.
Clear steps.
Very clear. And he also makes a strategic point about resisting the urge to jump into a detailed click-by-click demo too early. By focusing on the business outcomes and the value first, you ensure proper qualification and maintain the focus on what truly matters to the client's business.
That's a smart strategy, value before features. Okay, stage 5, handling objections proposal, addressing any concerns the client might have, and presenting your formal proposal.
And Russ emphasizes the critical role of a well-crafted executive summary here. It shouldn't be long-winded, brief, accurate, and concisely summarizing the key reasons why the client should choose your firm.
The elevator pitch, almost.
Kind of. He even provides a valuable checklist of essentials. The purpose, the problem or opportunity, your proposed solution, key benefits, a high-level implementation plan, the anticipated financial impact or ROI, and a clear conclusion. It's the at-a-glance argument for why you're the right choice.
A concise and compelling summary like that can make all the difference. Right, finally, stage 6, negotiations, closing the sale, finalizing the terms, and securing that commitment.
Here, Russ offers a classic but vital piece of advice. Have your BT&A, your best alternative to a negotiated agreement, clearly defined before you go in.
Know your walkaway point.
Exactly. Knowing that empowers you to negotiate with confidence and ensures you don't accidentally agree to terms that aren't actually favorable for you in the long run.
Solid practical advice. Okay, moving on to our third article, Sales Tactics, Building Trust and Client Relationships by Tayfun PARLAK. This really delves into the human element of AEC sales.
Yes, Tayfun starts with a powerful statement. Trust is earned through action, not just beautiful words. Which is so true, isn't it?
Absolutely. Talk is cheap.
He stresses that in AEC, where relationships often span years and involve significant collaborations, prioritizing trust, transparency, and a long-term perspective is just paramount.
He outlines several key tactics for fostering these authentic connections. First up, understand the client's needs through a consultative approach.
Yeah, and this isn't just about, hearing what the client says they want. It's about active listening to really uncover their underlying challenges and objectives. Tayfun uses the example of framing a product pitch by first asking about their operational pain points.
Digging deeper.
Precisely. And the statistic he includes from Salesforce, that 73% of customers say understanding their needs is crucial for loyalty, that really underscores the importance of this. Paraphrasing what they say, showing empathy. These are key skills here.
Absolutely. Making the client feel genuinely understood, build such a strong foundation. The second tactic is to communicate transparently.
Transparency builds credibility, simple as that, and long-lasting trust. Tayfun advises against overpromising, which can be tempting, and emphasizes being upfront about any limitations.
Honesty is key.
It is. The Harvard Business Review statistic he shares that customers trust transparent companies and are 90% more likely to make repeat purchases is compelling. He also cites that expectation of trusted advisors by most business buyers in the Salesforce study. And the example of Artisanal using blockchain and AI for project transparency, that's a great illustration of this in action.
That's a powerful example of how technology can actually foster trust. Okay, the third tactic, provide consistent value.
This is about ensuring that you're not just valuable during the sales pitch, but at every stage of the client relationship. Consistency in your communication, your service delivery, even the insights you share, it builds familiarity and strengthens trust. Tayfun notes that in 2024, personalization and transparency are highly valued, and advanced tools are enabling more tailored experiences.
Consistency definitely breeds confidence and reliability. The next tactic is to build a personal connection.
Tayfun emphasizes that in AEC, like in many fields, people buy from people they like and trust. Noting personal details, practicing empathy, finding common ground, these can significantly strengthen those relationships. He also mentions the preference many customers have for businesses that communicate through their preferred channels. Meet them where they are.
It's about humanizing the interaction, isn't it? Not just being a faceless company. The fifth tactic is to maintain regular communication.
Yeah, consistent communication keeps you top of mind and reinforces the relationship. Tayfun recommends scheduling regular check-ins, not just when there's a problem, and leveraging CRM tools to manage these interactions effectively. The NICE study highlighting the importance of customer service for loyalty further supports this.
Staying in touch in a meaningful way is crucial, not just spamming them. The sixth tactic is deliver on promises.
Seems obvious, but reliability is paramount. Tayfun advises setting clear expectations right from the outset and then consistently meeting deadlines. The statistic he shares about customers prioritizing speed, convenience, and knowledgeable service really underscores the importance of solid execution.
Your reputation is built on your ability to deliver. Simple as that. The seventh tactic, seek and act on feedback.
Actively soliciting feedback shows you value the client's perspective and are committed to continuous improvement. The Salesforce study highlighting that most expect companies to understand their needs and are more likely to trust those who act on feedback emphasizes the power of this. He also reminds us of the impact of nonverbal cues like body language and tone in building trust during these interactions.
Showing you're listening and willing to adapt is so important. Okay, finally, the eighth tactic. Be proactive in problem solving.
Yes. Anticipating potential issues and addressing them before they escalate builds immense trust. Tayfun mentions the significant cost savings associated with proactive problem solving compared to reactive measures. It just makes good business sense.
Definitely better to get ahead of things.
Right.
And the case studies he includes, from McCarthy Building Companies to Zappos to Skanska, they really illustrate how these tactics are implemented successfully by leading organizations.
Exactly. They provide tangible examples of how focusing on the human side of sales translates directly into strong client relationships and, ultimately, business success.
Our next article is Personal Selling, Networking and Relationship Building in AEC by Natasha Prinsloo. This focuses much more on the power of those individual connections.
Right. Natasha introduces personal selling as this blend of connecting, communicating effectively, and delivering tailored solutions. She really emphasizes the human-to-human interaction that's so vital in the AEC sector, where projects are often long-term and require really close collaboration.
She highlights that it's about deeply understanding each client's unique needs, crafting solutions that directly address those needs, and fostering a truly collaborative partnership.
And the case studies Natasha shares are really illustrative, aren't they? The architects sharing ideas that lead to a major project, engineers collaborating on smaller ventures that snowball into larger infrastructure work, and the sustainability consultant engaging with government officials. They all underscore the power of proactive outreach, offering value up front, building trust over time, finding shared interests, and maintaining a long-term perspective.
And that second case study about the young civil engineer seeking mentorship that really highlights the importance of taking initiative and building relationships within the industry, not just with clients.
That's a great point. Natasha then emphasizes that networking is the very foundation of personal selling. She references Keith Ferrazzi's Never Eat Alone, underscoring that it's about cultivating genuine, value-driven connections, not just, collecting business cards.
She offers some very practical advice on how to network effectively, doesn't she?
Yes, definitely. From actively participating in industry events like Future Build and the BIM Coordinator Summit to engaging with professional associations such as RIBA, Sibley, or Avray,
Getting involved.
leveraging the power of social media platforms like LinkedIn strategically, and even viewing collaborative projects as networking opportunities in themselves.
And she provides a great list of tangible tools and resources to help you hone these personal selling skills.
Absolutely. Her recommendations range from classic books on relationship building and emotional intelligence like How to Win Friends and Emotional Intelligence 2.0 to online learning platforms, professional development organizations like Toastmasters, and even CRM systems like HubSpot to manage contacts. She also highlights the value of industry-specific workshops and webinars focusing on these skills.
It's great to have those actual resources right there.
Mm.
Natasha also touches on the broader benefits of personal selling, suggesting they extend beyond just your professional life.
That's an important point. The skills you develop in personal selling, active listening, empathy, confidence, they're transferable. They can enrich your personal interactions just as much.
Makes sense. And she shares some valuable strategies for making a positive and lasting impression when you are networking or selling.
Yeah, things like being generous with your knowledge, offering value without expecting an immediate return, asking thoughtful questions that really dive deeper into client needs.
Not just surface level stuff.
Exactly. Leveraging testimonials to showcase your successes, using clear visuals and case studies to communicate effectively, and crucially, adapting your communication style to suit different individuals.
All about building strong, enduring connections. And finally, Natasha reinforces the long-term value of relationship selling in the AEC sector.
She emphasizes the potential for repeat business, valuable referrals, and the formation of strategic alliances that all stem from investing in and nurturing strong client relationships over time. It's a long game.
It really is. Okay, our fifth article is also by Natasha Prinsloo. Negotiation strategies, closing the deal. This takes us into that critical stage of finalizing agreements.
Right. Natasha defines negotiation simply as a process of discussion and compromise. The goal: reaching mutually beneficial agreements within the AEC industry. She underscores its significance for maximizing profitability, yes, but also for strengthening client relationships, mitigating potential risks, and effectively resolving any disputes that might crop up.
She then outlines several key negotiation strategies. The first one she mentions is the collaborative win-win approach.
Yeah, this strategy focuses on identifying shared interests and working together to find solutions that benefit all parties involved. Like, for instance, exploring cost-saving measures that don't compromise the quality of the project, finding that common ground.
Next is the competitive win-lose strategy. Sounds a bit more aggressive.
It can be. This approach prioritizes one party's gains over the others. It might be relevant in specific situations, maybe like negotiating for a limited supply of critical materials where it's inherently competitive, but you have to be careful with this one.
True. Then there's principled negotiation.
This strategy emphasizes fairness and the use of objective criteria. It draws heavily on the principles outlined in that classic Harvard book, Getting to Yes. So, things like referencing industry standard pricing or performance benchmarks to ground the discussion in facts.
We also have the crucial concept of BITENE again.
Yes, your best alternative to a negotiated agreement. We touched on this earlier. It's essentially your plan B if you can't reach a satisfactory agreement. Knowing this clearly strengthens your negotiating position immensely.
And the techniques of anchoring and framing. How do they work?
Well, anchoring involves setting an initial offer, the anchor, to influence the other party's perception of what's reasonable. Framing involves presenting information in a particular way to highlight certain aspects and shape their perspective on the deal.
Clever psychological tactics. Natasha also highlights the important role of emotional intelligence, EQ.
Hugely important in negotiation, leveraging empathy to understand the other party's perspective, their underlying interests, and using active listening skills to build rapport and navigate potentially tense discussions more effectively, keeping cool under pressure.
Definitely a key skill. And finally, the strategic use of silence and patience.
Sometimes saying nothing is the most powerful thing you can do. Utilizing pauses strategically during the negotiation process can encourage the other party to reconsider their position, maybe fill the silence with more information, or even make a concession.
Interesting. Natasha provides a practical real-world example too, negotiating a construction contract, which illustrates how these various strategies can be applied in a complex AEC scenario.
which really helps bring these sometimes abstract concepts to life, doesn't it? Shows their practical application. She also addresses the important aspect of resolving disputes, should they arise, using active listening, empathy, and a collaborative problem-solving mindset.
And she introduces some more advanced, maybe slightly more controversial negotiation tactics one might encounter.
Yeah, she mentions strategies like the nibble asking for small concessions right at the end, the salami slice breaking down requests into smaller pieces, the bogey pretending something unimportant is crucial, the good cop, bad cop routine, and the decoy effect. However, she wisely cautions about using these ethically and always prioritizing the long-term health of the client relationship.
That ethical consideration is absolutely key. You don't want to win the battle but lose the war. And she also recommends some valuable books for anyone wanting to deepen their negotiation expertise.
Yeah, a great reading list. Classics like Getting to Yes, Chris Voss's Never Split the Difference, Bargaining for Advantage, among others. Really valuable resources for honing your negotiation skills.
Okay, our sixth article is Measuring Sales Success, Metrics and Key Performance Indicators, KPIs, by Ian Rogers. This shifts our focus to how we actually track and evaluate the effectiveness of our sales efforts in the AEC sector. Because you need to know if what you're doing is working right.
Exactly. And Ian begins by emphasizing that assessing sales success in AEC is, well, multifaceted. It goes beyond simply counting closed deals, especially given the industry's long project timelines and intricate nature. He also touches briefly on the emergence of DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, and their potential implications for governance, though his main focus remains on traditional AEC sales metrics.
He underscores the importance of moving away from just gut feelings or anecdotal evidence and using concrete data to inform your decision-making.
Absolutely. As Ian points out, a comprehensive approach to measuring success involves tracking performance throughout the entire sales funnel, from lead to close, gauging client satisfaction levels, which is huge, and analyzing long-term revenue generation.
He then breaks down some key metrics and KPIs, starting with financial performance metrics, what's included there.
These are the brass tacks, really. Essential indicators like contract value, the average size of your deals, revenue growth rate, gross margin on projects, and the critical bid-to-win ratio. Ian explains how each of these provides crucial insights into the financial health and overall effectiveness of your sales strategies within the specific context of AEC.
Next, he delves into sales efficiency metrics. How efficiently are we working?
Right. This category includes the lead-to-conversion rate, how effectively are leads turning into actual clients, sales cycle length, how long does it take on average to close a deal, and the cost of sales acquisition, or COSA, how much are you spending to acquire each new client. These metrics help you understand how efficiently you're utilizing your sales resources.
Then we have client relationship health metrics. This seems really important for AEC.
Hugely important. Metrics like the Net Promoter Score, NPS. Would clients recommend you? The repeat business ratio, are clients coming back? And maybe a stakeholder engagement score fall into this category. They highlight the critical importance of nurturing strong, long-lasting relationships with your clients for sustained success in this industry.
He also discusses long-term outcome metrics, looking beyond the immediate deal.
Exactly. These include things like the Pipeline Health Index, a measure of future potential business, how full is your pipeline, client lifetime value, CLV, the total revenue you can realistically expect from a client over the entire course of their relationship with you, and even an innovation impact score for firms focused on pushing boundaries in areas like sustainability or digital transformation, maybe using BIM and ISO 19650 effectively.
Interestingly, Ian also briefly touches on how these measurement principles might be adapted within the context of those DAOs you mentioned.
Yeah, it's forward-looking. He mentions concepts like transparency and community-driven metrics, blockchain-enabled metrics for tracking things like revenue allocation, and long-term sustainability and collaboration metrics, acknowledging the unique characteristics of these emerging organizational structures. Still early days, but interesting.
He then shares some best practices for effectively implementing sales metrics within a typical AEC firm.
Key things like defining clear and measurable objectives up front. What are you actually trying to achieve? Leveraging technology such as CRM systems and maybe blockchain analytics where applicable, fostering a culture of feedback and continuous improvement based on the data, and crucially, ensuring buy-in from all relevant stakeholders. Everyone needs to be on board.
Finally, he acknowledges some of the inherent challenges in measuring sales success within the AEC industry. It's not always straightforward.
Definitely not. Issues like data silos where information is trapped in different departments, the difficulty of objectively measuring certain qualitative aspects like the strength of a relationship, and those often lengthy sales cycles that can make short-term performance assessment really challenging.
Our seventh article is Transforming the Customer Experience, The Journey from Design to Delivery by Tayfun PARLAK once again. This looks at the entire client journey end-to-end and how to optimize it.
Yes, and Tayfun emphasizes that in today's AEC landscape, delivering a superior customer experience, or CX, isn't just a nice-to-have anymore. It's really a strategic imperative. He cites compelling statistics from Harvard Business Review and Deloitte, highlighting the significant benefits faster growth, increased repeat business for companies that truly prioritize the customer journey.
He discusses some of the common challenges in providing a great customer experience in AEC. Where do firms often fall down?
Well, common issues include breakdowns in communication, the listening to the client's vision piece, a lack of transparency throughout the project lifecycle, and maybe not fostering a truly collaborative design process. He gives some great real-world examples like Crossrail's use of BIM for enhanced communication, and ARM and ARUP's focus on transparency during the Sydney Opera House renovation.
He then explores the significant opportunities for enhancing customer experience in the AEC sector. Where's the potential?
Huge potential, really. Leveraging the power of digital tools like BIM, of course, CRM systems for managing client interactions effectively, and data analytics to gain deeper insights into client needs. He also highlights the value of personalized approaches. The examples of Foster Plus partners using real-time rendering for transparency and BIG using storytelling and immersive tech like AR and VR in their proposals are great illustrations of these opportunities.
He stresses that clear communication and unwavering transparency are the bedrock, the foundation of a positive customer experience.
Absolutely. Implementing things like real-time progress monitoring systems so clients know what's happening, establishing frequent and meaningful touchpoints, not just emails, real conversations, and creating effective feedback loops are all crucial. He references Foster Plus Partners' detailed mock-ups for Apple Park, that McKinsey report on the revenue impact of effective feedback, and EMER's regular updates during the Burj Khalifa project. He also highlights AECOM's success in stakeholder engagement through dedicated client portals and community-focused strategies.
He also looks at innovative approaches to project delivery and, importantly, what happens after the project is technically complete, post-delivery support.
Right. Embracing lean construction practices to improve efficiency, prioritizing sustainable design and construction methods to align with growing client values, and providing robust post-delivery support are all vital for fostering long-term client satisfaction and loyalty. He mentions AI-driven project management shortening delivery time for Marina Bay Sands and Skanska's commitment to lean construction and sustainability with their Green Future initiative.
Tayfun also shares key strategies gleaned from industry experts on how to elevate the customer experience. Any standouts there?
Yeah, focusing on empathy in the design process, really understanding the end user experience. Like IDEO founder David Kelly talks about adopting agile principles for greater flexibility and responsiveness throughout the project, and creating added value for clients even after project completion, perhaps through facility management tools like HOK provides.
He then delves into the transformative role of digital technologies in shaping the customer experience in AEC. It seems tech is key here.
It really is becoming central. He highlights BIM as the foundational platform for collaboration and information sharing, the application of artificial intelligence and predictive analytics for improved project management and risk assessment, the use of IoT and smart construction technologies for real-time insights on site, and even the implementation of automation in customer interactions, like Lendlease's AI chatbot Lenny.
And he underscores the significant benefits that result from this focus on innovation and customer experience.
Increased client confidence and trust, enhanced project efficiency leading to fewer errors and delays, and ultimately the cultivation of strong, long-term partnerships. It all ties together.
He even concludes with a memorable, savory summary, using a recipe analogy to reinforce that 6-stage sales process we discussed earlier.
Yeah, it's quite a creative way to synthesize the key stages. Comparing prospecting to preparing ingredients, the approach to the appetizer needs assessment to tasting and adjusting, presentation to the main course, handling objections like dealing with picky eaters, and finally, closing the deal as the satisfying dessert or final dish. It helps it stick.
Definitely memorable. Okay, our final article for this week is Summary to Week 4 Sales Fundamentals by Russ Monrose, bringing all these different threads together.
Yes, Russ really reiterates the fundamental importance of a deep understanding of sales principles for anyone working in the AEC sector. He emphasizes again that being able to effectively communicate your firm's value, truly understand and address client needs, and build that essential foundation of trust are just paramount to success.
He stresses again that AEC sales is about becoming a trusted advisor, someone who understands the client's challenges deeply and positions their firm as the ideal solution provider, rather than resorting to those old-school high-pressure sales tactics.
And he powerfully highlights the numerous benefits of developing a strong sales capability within an AEC firm. Things like stronger client engagement, more successful projects that are actually aligned with client needs, the ability to navigate complex decision-making processes more smoothly, and the development of enduring, mutually beneficial partnerships. It impacts the whole business.
He advises AEC firms to make sales an integral part of their organizational culture, not just a siloed department.
Exactly. Through comprehensive training programs for everyone, the strategic implementation of tools like CRM systems to manage client interactions effectively, and by fostering a culture of collaboration between the technical experts and the business development teams. He emphasizes the need for a value-driven and client-centric mindset across the entire organization.
He asserts that in today's competitive environment, a robust sales capability isn't just advantageous, it's absolutely essential for AEC firms to not only survive, but truly thrive. You need it to effectively communicate your unique value and consistently secure new opportunities.
He also makes a really insightful point that while the tools and technologies of sales have evolved dramatically,
They really have.
the underlying human principles remain remarkably constant. That old adage, people buy from people they trust, still holds true, and they make purchasing decisions when they are genuinely ready to buy. The salesperson's core job is to effectively satisfy both of those conditions.
And he reminds us that the sales process is rarely a straight line from stage 1 to stage 6.
No, it's often an iterative journey. You might need to circle back, revisit earlier stages to reinforce your message, build deeper trust, or ensure complete alignment with the client's perhaps evolving needs. He even aptly describes serious sales as a true art form, requiring finesse and adaptability.
He then shares a fascinating historical perspective with his father's 5 mental step sales process from way back in the 1950s.
Yeah, it's quite something. While acknowledging the obvious absence of modern technology, he notes the enduring wisdom of the core steps. Ground, which is preparation, attention, interest, restate, confirming understanding, conviction, and finally, close sale. He also highlights the importance his father placed on actively listening at that crucial attention stage and the potential need to move up and down those steps as the conversation unfolded.
It's remarkable to see those foundational principles that have stood the test of time, isn't it? He concludes by emphasizing the enduring importance of foundational outreach activities, things like cold calling and door knocking, as drivers of successful selling and hitting targets, even while acknowledging that some aspects or the language of the 5 steps might be viewed differently today, perhaps not quite PC, as he puts it.
It's a powerful reminder, though, isn't it? That while strategies and tools evolve, the fundamental act of reaching out, making connections, and engaging with potential clients remains a critical element of business development. You still have to put in the work.
Well, that concludes our in-depth exploration of this week's articles on sales fundamentals in the AEC industry. It's certainly clear that a strong understanding of these principles is absolutely vital for navigating and succeeding in this dynamic sector.
Absolutely. From understanding the specific nuances of the AEC sales cycle to mastering the art of building trust, negotiating effectively, and delivering a great customer experience, these fundamentals are all interconnected and truly essential for driving sustainable growth and fostering those crucial lasting client relationships.
We look forward to the next edition in this key learning program.